Hello and welcome to another patch note reading. This for the preliminary patch notes for 6.1. A link will be in the description to this particular article and of course these notes. Bear in mind these are preliminary notes, so there are not full representations of all of the details that are actually going to be in 6.1, but this has a fair amount of those, of course, and what that basically means is like item descriptions, recipes, that sort of stuff will likely be missing from these notes. It's not complete, as I say. Anyway, before we get started, it's important to know what is in 6.1 and what is not actually in the launch of this patch next week. So it says additional features will be implemented in future updates. These include Dragon Song's Reprise, which is the new ultimate, which is scheduled to be released in 2 weeks after the launch of 6.1 in 6.11. A new custom delivery client, Emeliance, and the Arcasadora tribal quests and Hildebrand adventure side quests are scheduled to be released in 6.15. Data center travel is also scheduled to be implemented in 6.18. So whilst they're in the 6.1 series, they will not be here at launch. That being said, there's quite a lot of stuff that is going to be in here, and let's scroll down and look through this. Just as a precursor, the PvP section we have kind of talked about a lot in other videos, so I would advise you go watch those instead. But of course, you could always read this yourself, so we're going to skim through that for the most part, but everything else we should be fine looking through. So, playable content, of course, we have a new MSQ. It starts with the quest Newfound Adventure, which starts in the Rising Stones, funnily enough, with Tataru, where we left off. And as you can see, there's quite a few new main scenario quests. Quite a lot of them. All those question marks there are all brand new quests. Very exciting. Additionally to that, we've also got the Myths of the Realm Alliance raid, and of course with that, the quests that come with that. This actually starts in Old Sharlayan, as you can see, with the fresh-faced student, and features Grahatir. So, yep, and there's some quests to do with that. Of course, there's 4 quests. Wouldn't be, surprising of any other way. We also have new additions to role quests. So if you've completed the current role quests that were in the game from Endwalker's release in 6.0, then I'm sure you'll be able to continue with these. But if you haven't completed those, obviously that's something you want to do. And of course, if you have completed them, and you need to complete all of them here, Bitter Snow is one of the first ones, and that starts in Radzat Han. Funnily enough, where all of the others are as well. It says players must first complete the main scenario quest Endwalker, the tank role, the DPS role, and the healer role quest, So once you've done all of them, a new chain exists. So you need to do your tank, your healer, and your DPS related, including ranged, obviously, and magical, etc. Role quests, and you'll be able to do this. It's a lot like the Void quests by the looks of it, but who knows what this will actually reward, so you might want to do it. New chapters have been added to New Game Plus, of course. New Game Plus including all of the stuff from 6.0, including also all of the role quests as well, which is really cool if you want to go and redo those. Certain main scenario quests for A Realm Reborn have been revised. So this is to have the duty support system, and have also changed a few things up. It says, in accordance with changes with various dungeons and trials, certain quests have been revised. These adjustments will not affect the overall story. It says, for players progressing through A Realm Reborn, if you're currently undertaking a quest in A Realm Reborn, please refer to the duty list or journal, as you may find that the quest information has been updated. If the quest has been changed, you will be asked to abandon it and accept the newly designated quest. Interesting. This is an update to Operation Archon and the Ultimate Weapon. Specifically then because the related duties are in different places. They also say New Game Plus is also affected by this change, so bear that in mind. It says, when playing as a different character in instance quest battles, actions on the additional hotbar can now be rearranged. Oh, that's interesting. Very cool. Previously, you couldn't change any of those. It says the hotbar changes will be reset upon playing an alternate character in an instance quest battle or upon logging out of the game. Very cool. Character portraits have been implemented for battle dialogue during instance quest battles from the 5.x series. These character portraits for battle dialogue in instance quest battles prior to 5.0 will be implemented in future updates. So if you're wondering what those are, do you remember the This Is Fancred portrait in one of those operations with a sneaking mission with Fancred? Those are the character portraits. So it looks like those are going to be added, retroactively in the future to the entire game. But yeah, very interesting. So leaves or levies, depending on your pronunciation. It says the report area for a leave will now be displayed in the information section of the leaves journal entry. Nice quality of life addition there. It says the following adjustments have been made to the journal entries for Fisher Fieldcraft leaves. Entries will now display the method of fishing required to obtain the desired catch. That's nice. The area where the desired catch can be found will be displayed next to location. Very nice. And selecting map will display the desired catch's approximate location. Wow. It says once a desired catch has been caught, that leaves report area will be displayed instead. That's really nice. They're really helping you through some of the older content in the game. Stuff that usually made you sort of look at lots of different menus and, figure things out by reading stuff. But now it's very, very self-explanatory, and it's supposed to help new players more than anything. Very cool. Fates. New items are available in exchange for bicolor gemstones, so you might want to cap on those prior to the launch of 6.1 so you can go and get some new stuff. Usually there's like housing items, sometimes minions, sometimes mounts, right, as we saw with the bicolor gemstone ticket. So go and cap on those, and hopefully there's something good. Treasure hunt. Rewards in the Excitatron 6000 have been adjusted, which means usually that there's more crafted stuff. There is, of course, this is a major patch, so there'll be new crafted glamour with items that drop inside the treasure map dungeons. Looks like we're doing those again. Also, the animation for deciphering a treasure map has been changed. Now you literally pull a treasure map out. That is so good. Currently in the game, it's just like to do the lookout pose, where you just like raise your hand to your head and look out ahead of you. But now it's is this where we are on the map? That's really cool. Thank you, Square Enix, for making the game more immersive, honestly. Grand and free companies. New charge symbol options have been added to company crests. This includes a bunch of stuff. They're showing a Spriggan here. I hope that there's a frog. I don't see any Namazu, but, this is page 6. Maybe there's a Namazu somewhere. Who knows? The charge symbol options have also been added to PvP team crests, so very cool. New craftable items for the company workshop include the Candy Mountain style, Candy Mountain Charlie, house design. That's through company workshop. There's probably a lot of other stuff. Also, new subaquatic voyages, so there's new areas, new items, and maximum submersible ranks gone to 95, up from 90. That's pretty good. It's always nice to see expansion on that. The submarines or submersibles are quite fun, and the rewards are usually quite expensive for a couple of weeks, especially minions, so pretty good. Housing, so obviously in 6.1, plots of land in Imperium can be purchased. We did look at this in big detail, but we'll skim through this. All plots on the Oceanic Data Center are now available for purchase. Very nice. A lottery system for the purchase of land has been implemented. We have the details already on that. Every housing district will now have dedicated wards for private and free company estates. That's interesting. Very interesting. To prevent the reselling of plots, players must now remain in a free company for a minimum of 30 days before they're allowed to purchase a free company plot. Makes sense. Players must meet this requirement for plots being sold via the lottery system. The designated price of plots will no longer be reduced over time, which is one of the better features, and also, pretty good. I like the lottery system personally. Very good. Furnishings from the 14 furnishing design contest have been added. As we saw, we looked at this and somebody on Twitter, the creator of this particular bed, was like, oh my goodness, they finally added it. Back in 2019, I was like, oh, that's so cool. So, who knows, I might interact with them and ask them what their inspirations were for it, because honestly, it's a beautiful bed, isn't it? There's a few of those, so there's a lovely Sakura sort of bed there. We've got a hanging basket type stuff. I like the blackboard. That's probably my favorite feature here, like the learning blackboard. Nice bar here, cuckoo clock with chocobos. That looks like a sundae, an ice cream sundae with like, what is that, a Moogle? Yeah, a little mog in there. Very nice. Amarottian chandeliers, looking good. We've got a snow-covered bench. Oh, man. Other furnishings have been added, so we've got like a big round fireplace. That's very interesting. I like that, with the grate on the front. Indoors fountains, a massive bookcase that's way bigger than the other ones. This appears to be like a chair that you would... Well, this... Yeah, I remember this chair from a certain place in Coerthus. Don't know if you remember this, but I think that's Horchafont's chair, isn't it? It looks very similar to the one in the cutscenes. And then we have the outdoor stuff, which I'm not sure what this is from this angle, like a little bridge. And we have this, is this an Ishgardian spa? Very nice. Very nice stuff. And obviously new orchestrion roles have been added. It says the location and duty names previously omitted to prevent spoilers will now be displayed. New aquarium fish have been added, so you can go out into the world and get yourself some fishies. New tankables, clearly, look. Very cool. New paintings. Very nice. New seeds for flower pots. People love these as little details in their houses. Very nice. These are Biragotia seeds. Probably butchered that. And you can get them from material suppliers. Or, of course, Tanny, the florist in New Gridania. My personal favourite. Let's look at Mandeville Gold Saucer. New prizes are available for purchase using MGP. The first of which, and the only one mentioned, is the Pod 602 identification key, which is the near-related pod mount, which you hang from like that. However, it does say that you need to complete the Chronicles of a New Era quest, Brave New World, in order to be able to see this on the vendor. So if you don't see this on the MGP vendor, that's why. Go and do it. Go do the quests. The following additions have been made to Trouble Triad. New cards have been added, of course. And new NPC opponents for Trouble Triad have also been added. Well, that makes sense, honestly, with new stuff. For the MISC updates, then, we have new hairstyle options have been added across the board. It says here, regardless of your progression in the main scenario, these changes will be available when creating new characters, editing your character's appearance using Fantasia, or hiring a retainer. A lot of people have controversially said that these aren't as good as they could be because of the hidden ears. A lot of people are like, wait, where have the ears gone? I believe the intent of this design was the ears to be underneath the hair. Some people say that, you know, from what I've read anyway in comment section, say that removes some identity. Who knows? If you like these, you like these. If you don't, then I guess you don't have to use them. Certain options that were previously designated as facial features, such as bangs and sideburns, have been moved to the hairstyle section. New facial features have been added. So one of the biggest things with Hrothgar, that my biggest complaint was that hairstyles were not able to be changed with in the actual aesthetician in the game. Instead, you had to use a Fantasia to change the hair, to change the face, which changed the hair palette. So it appears to be that finally, hallelujah, we have the ability to change in the game, right? Through the aesthetician, rather than having to pay money on a Fantasia each time. My crusade is finally over. I can be happy about that. Very good. Now all we need is more hats for Viera. So we have ourselves some new hairstyles for male and female Viera. Hopefully these aren't gender-locked versions, because people don't like that. That looks really cool, actually, on a Viera. I like that. A nice short hairstyle there. Yeah, that's really nice. I like the ponytail bob there. Very nice. The duty support system has been added to the game. This is intended to help solo players tackle duties with a party of NPCs. As you can see, it's pretty much like the trust system. and you can click on a thingy to access it. Let's just go through this very vaguely because we've already looked at this before. There's the heads-up display for that window. We've seen that. You select a duty under duty in the main menu. A list of available duties will be displayed. Select the duty you wish to enter, confirm with the NPCs that will be accompanying you, and then press register. It also says certain duties allow you to switch out the NPCs in your party. This is indicated by a message that displays underneath your party members, such as Lena here. For Holminster switch, can be swapped out with presumably someone else. Very cool. Click on your party members or press the button. Open a window sharing a list of available NPCs. Very cool. Very easy. And as you can see, duty support has been added for all of these duties. Sastasha, Tamtara Deepcroft. I'm not going to read through this all. That's the ones in the Realm Reborn. You'll notice that pretty much everything apart from the side stuff. So there'll be some side dungeons that weren't included in the main storyline. Those are not going to be duty support available. Much like when they add trusts. Usually, like, trusts are only ever going to be usable in MSQ duties, right? For the most part. And there's Endwalker as well, look, but that's, you know, their trust at that point. The following additions and adjustments have been made, however, to the trust system. Scenario mode, which allowed players to progress through main scenario dungeons from patch 5.0 through 6.1 with a party of NPC allies, has now been incorporated into the duty support system. Yeah, so now it's just duty support. You may continue to challenge previously completed main scenario dungeons with a party of NPC avatars via the trust system. So it's just name changes for the most part and context. Speaking of context, the Unending Codex has been added. This is your big old glossary we talked about. This will allow you to chart your progress through the main scenario of 6.1. with new entries being added as the story unfolds. They were also talking on a live letter about backdating this for other content in the game. Looks to be very fun. I like the idea of a lore write-up, personally. Wondrous Tales has obviously been changed to accommodate the new Unreal. And as we can see, it says prizes available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificates, silver certificates, and bronze have been adjusted because, of course, there are new rewards and mounts and stuff from Faux Hollows. The message that displays when attempting to hand over a Wondrous Tales journal that has less than 9 duties completed has been changed. So specifically, Chloe might have different dialogue. Certain tasks within the Wondrous Tales journal will now let you select from more than one duty to earn a seal. Interesting. Completing any of the duties listed in that square will mark it complete. Oh, that's cool. For example, the objective previously labelled the Binding Coil of Bahamut Turn 1 has been changed to simply the Binding Coil of Bahamut, and the completion of any turn will be counted for this objective. That's really bloody good. That's a really nice change. So instead of me going, well, which is the easiest out of all of this? I guess I'm going to do, I'll just do Ifrit then this week on Extreme and spam that 9 times. Now I can be like, but I could just do like turn 1 of a Binding Coil, which is like a few seconds, and I don't have to deal with phase transitions. Sounds good to me. That's really cool. I like that. That's more variety at the player's discretion. It makes it easier as well, for the most part. Less time consuming, I think, is the key word there. Very cool. I like that. And it looks like Binding Coil, Second Coil, Final Coil. They're doing it for Alexander and Omega. Wow, very cool. Of course, Faux Hollows has been changed because now instead of the Wall Eater Unreal, which was turned off, we now have Ultima's Bane Unreal. Ultima Unreal. Can you believe it? How many Ultimas are we going to get in this game? I'm excited to do that in a video. Different Unreal trials will be available in each major patch, so this will be changed throughout Endwalker's major patches now, 6.2 onwards. And new items are available in exchange for faux leaves. This is through the Faux Hollow system, through actually doing Unreal Ultima. And that Yeti, the big old Yeti, it appears to be available through this. So I'm pretty hyped to get my hands on that one. If you already have this stuff already saved up, or I think it's Gold Certificate of Commendation, you will be able to get this on day 1. You'll be able to make some Gillarino if you don't want it yourself, from people like me who will buy it. Oh dear. But very cool. Apparently the following adjustments have been made to the sightseeing log. The visual effect for completing an entry for a vista has been changed. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that looks completely different now. Oh, I like that. More immersive. You know, these little things they add. That's really cool. Vistas will now be categorized by expansion. That is something I wish I had when I started doing my sightseeing log completion, like last year or the year before. That's crazy. Very nice. I like that. New emotes have been added. We saw this before. It seems to be like a clenching of fists, getting ready for battle thing. No idea. So, battle system changes. Miscellaneous adjustments to action trait and status effect descriptions have been made, but no changes have been made to their effects, so it's tooltip changes. The following additions and adjustments have been made to job gauges. Interesting. The appearance of the dancer's esprit gauge when filled to 50 or higher has been adjusted to be more discernible. Oh, okay. The sound effect played when a bard's soul voice gauge reaches 100 will now also play when the gauge reaches 80. Moreover, a new visual indicator has been added for when the gauge reaches 80. There you go. A few nice little changes, hopefully. New dungeons been added. Of course, this is spoiler territory, so they're not showing this, even if it's shown in the trailer like 50 times. You do need 560 item level to be able to get in there. Obviously, level 90. And it doesn't say where that unlocks, but that will be through the MSQ. Very cool. Of course, new trial is End Singer, but on Extreme. You need 580 to get into that as well. Yeah. And you can go to the Wandering Minstrel in Old Charlian to unlock that at level 90 once you've completed the first one. And of course, the storyline for Endwalker. The totem received upon completing this trial can be exchanged. So it says totem, so presumably just one? Don't know. I thought it was 2 now going forward. Interesting. Ultima's Bane Unreal only requires 560 to get in there. You're all synced to 565. That's fairly straightforward, quite low entry. It always is. It's kind of the difficulty between hard and extreme, isn't it? It's that kind of happy medium. Should be fine if you've done Ultima before. And of course, you need to have completed Fantastic Mr. Foe, which you can do in Idleshire, of course, as this always has been. The trial will be unlocked automatically for players who have already done this quest before 6.1, like most of people like myself. Players can now be revived in battle after being incapacitated by falling in the following duties. Oh my goodness, that's actually huge. So normally in the naval, so that's Titan, if you didn't know, when you fall off, you're dead, and you have to wait for either people to kill the boss or it to be like respawned basically after a wipe. But you can actually res people now. That's very interesting as a decision. So I guess it's to try and sort of bring all of that up. But Never Reap's the same, Naval on Extreme, Ravana, Limitless Blue, wow, really? Containment Bays, Sit 7, really? Wow. Amdapur Keep, oh, that's with Demon Wall, isn't it? That's surprising. Limitless Blue Extreme. Wow, that's a big surprise for me. Who knows what people are going to think about that? Personally, I mean, I guess it's to speed things up a little bit, but, well, I'm kind of indifferent now. There's two sides of that, but let's not get into those. The following adjustments have been made to the battle against Race Valga in Sorkai. They say the arena platforms will no longer be destroyed? Really? And damage inflicted by cauterize has been increased. So I guess the trade-off is that, like, the arena jumping stuff, instead of sometimes being a little bit laggy, I guess, that might be a complaint. Instead of that, now you just have increased damage from cauterize. I suppose that's a thing. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I guess that's cool. The weekly restriction on rewards in Pandemonium Asphodelios has been removed. So this does not apply to the Unsung Blade. You can't farm those yet, unfortunately. That'll be in a future patch. But yeah, you can go and farm the gear in there if you still need it for alt jobs or something. Who knows? The number of Unsung Blades of Asphodelios required, however, to exchange for the Discal Tombstone, which is for the weapon, has been reduced from 7 to 4. So it's only 4 weeks instead of 7 to get a weapon now. That's really cool if you want to get your weapons up, like myself. Very cool. Gunbreaker, Dancer, Reaper, and Sage weapons are now available from coffers that appear after completing Fordan's Reign. Oh, we're getting Fordan's... Oh, me goodness, that's amazing. I'm so hype. So we're getting Reaper weapons of the round and Sage weapons of the round and Gunbreaker and Dancer. Oh yeah, I love the idea of getting new weapons. If you didn't know, I play Sage as a main, so I'm a little bit exhausted with the amount of weapons I have. That's so cool. I can't wait. The Alliance Raid Dungeon Agglia has been added. This has a 565 requirement, 24 players, and that starts with the Chronicles of a New Era quest, obviously. Let's see. The reward eligibility is reset every Tuesday at 1. Yeah, you can only receive one reward item per week, obviously. So you'd go for a chess piece because it's sexy glamour, really, isn't it? That tank chess piece is gorgeous. Upon completing Agglia, players can also earn a separate reward once per week. 2 cracked anthro clusters and 1 Agglia coin. This coin can be exchanged with Nesvaz in Radzat-Han for items used to enhance equipment purchase with tomestones of astronomy. So if you've got that second ring, like I do, which is the the radiant one, we can upgrade that finally. So it should be able to go up to what, item level 600 ring. Very nice, very nice. I think so anyway. Hopefully, the items required to enhance equipment purchase with Allagan tomestones of astronomy, radiant twine, and radiant coating can be purchased from the following vendors. So of course, the other way of doing this instead of Agglia coins is through sacks of nuts. So of course, go hunt farming, basically, in Endwalker and Shadowbringers areas, and get nuts, bring them back, and you can get the same stuff. Upgrading your equipment. After acquiring the items to enhance your equipment, speak with Kaldeen in Radzat-Han and exchange them for augmented versions. Yeah, so there we go. Vendor upgrades. The following duties have been added to Raid Finder. So we've got Endsinger's Aria and Ultima's Bane. Duty Finder now has Zodiac's Fall and Heidelin's Call, so that's been moved into the Duty Finder because it's, those have been sort of made, less important since there's a new extreme. It says you now get the Echo in the Dark Inside and the Mother Crystal and the Final Day. Interesting. Each time players restart from the aforementioned trial, they'll be granted a 10% Echo. Very nice. And that increases up to a maximum of 50% every time. Very cool. And for the extreme version of Zodiac and Heidelin, that's 5% up to a maximum of 25%. So if you're wanting to farm mounts, you Echo, Echo's always good for helping people learn fights. So we knew it was going to happen. The location of enemies in the following areas have been adjusted. So apparently Mordona, Favnir, and Ultima Thule have had their enemies changed. Interesting. That's probably to prevent botting or something. Who knows? I'm not really sure, but that'll be interesting to see where they've put things. Obviously, Expert Roulette now has the new dungeon, right, as well as Dead End Smarlton and the Stigma Dreamscape. So there'll be 4 dungeons to have in your Expert Roulette rather than 3. So that's always hype. Very cool. The Expert Roulette now needs 560 item level from 540, obviously, because of restrictions to get into it. Following duties have been added to the Mentor one, which is Porta Decimana and Agglia and the new dungeon. Following changes made to the duties in the MSQ, the duty the Praetorium is no longer counted as complete. Players must recomplete this duty to unlock Duty Roulette Mentor. So, because it's changed, we all need to do Praetorium again. Oh, that's funny. That's pretty funny. I mean, it's a 4-player now, right? So, when challenging a duty with an unrestricted party, a vote to abandon the duty may now be initiated at any time. Okay, that's interesting. The following trials have been added to Stone Sky Sea, so you can do level 60, 70, 80, and 90, and of course, the Endsinger's Aria. So if you want to see if your DPS is up to match, this is the way you do it in the game. Go and do Stone Sky Sea. Test yourself. A test of your reflexes. Adjustments have been made to the graphics and collision in certain dungeons from A Realm Reborn. I have a feeling that's something to do with people falling out of certain parts of dungeons. I've seen a few videos of that. So, very cool. Adjustments have been made to the following dungeons and trials. Oh, this was interesting. So, Copperbell's been changed. The content of the battle with Kotos has been adjusted. So, what does it mean by content has been adjusted? That's all of the bosses. Certain dungeon mechanics have been adjusted. So, they've changed a lot of Mechanics in old dungeons. Copperbell, Thousand Moors, Hawk Manor, Brayflocks, Decimal Darkhold, Stone Vigil, Cape Westwind obviously has been removed, which is now a solo duty. So I'm curious what this means, how the content's been changed, and the positioning of treasure coffers has been changed in Decimal. Very interesting. Hopefully they've not, like, gutted things out. Maybe there's, like, more tells or something. We're going to have to play through these dungeons again, aren't we? Yeah, pretty much. Castrum Meriadnum, obviously now that's a 4-player. Black Heft has been adjusted. Livia has been adjusted. Yeah. General progression has been implemented. Praetorium's now 4-player. I think they've probably nerfed all this stuff and made it probably... I mean, how can you make it any easier than it already is? I don't know. I guess we'll find out what that means. The battle with Ultima Weapon has been removed from Praetorium and has been reinstated as a new trial for Porta Decimana. Players who have completed the MSQ quest The Ultima Weapon as of 6.08 will have access to the Porta Decimana at 6.1. Players who have accepted but not completed this must abandon and re-accept the quest upon the release of 6.1. Interesting. Cape Westwind, Battle from La Habrea and Praetorium have been removed, and each has been reinstated as separate instance battles. Those are solo, as we said. Here we go. This is the important bit. The Allegan tomestones earned from the following duties has been adjusted. So before, Meriadnum gave 200, now it gives 100. Praetorium gave 200, up to, I think, a maximum of, what was it? You got like 300 extra for a bonus. Now down to 150 poetics. Still not bad. That's only 50 from the Praetorium. That's pretty good, which means it's still probably quite a lengthy set of cutscenes. But honestly, 4-player stuff, that's a lot easier to like organize with your friends. You know, probably make that quite quick. That's not too harsh. I like that. The following changes have been made to duties unlocked by using Tales of Adventure: A Realm Reborn. Cape Westwind has been removed, and oh yeah, so the story skips and stuff. Very cool. The display of target indicators for certain battle mechanics has been adjusted for the following duties: Brayflocks Hard, Tamtara Hard, Circus Tower, and the World of Darkness. Okay, so maybe they've made them bigger or more easy to see. But they're working on a lot of quality of life and visualization changes, aren't they? The duties in Duty Roulette main scenario have been adjusted, so now it's the Porta Decimana, Praetorium, and Castrum. That's interesting. So if you get Porta Decimana, you only have to kill Ultima Weapon. Interesting. But of course, you get only 50... Oh, no. Oh, no, wait, hold on. For MSQ Roulette, you still get 350 poetics. So basically, if you get Porta Decimana, you're the luckiest person in the world. Because it's going to be so much shorter than the other two. Interesting. Very interesting. So 350 poetics. They've actually increased the rewards of poetics. That makes me even more likely to do this because of my my addiction to relic weapons and the poetics required in the thousands. It will take longer for the screen to darken after a party KOs during the following duties. And that's for Delos and Ensinger's Aria. This is an experimental feature that will allow players a grace period to better identify and understand the reasons behind the party knockout. It may be applied to other duties or otherwise adjusted in the future. I want the option to turn this off because the longer you stretch out as recovering from a wipe, the less pulls of a boss we have. And for the most part, our static at least works on the reasons we die or like the problems as we pull. Don't know, maybe that's just me and our group, but I don't like this feature. I want the ability to turn it off. Anyway, a measure to prevent illicit activity, the timing of contact prohibition and escape prohibition in the Epic of Alexander Ultimate has been adjusted. Never done an Ultimate, so I have no idea what that refers to. It says these changes will not affect overall battle balance. If you know what this is, let me know below, because honestly, I have no idea. The following adjustments have been made to the Bosgian Southern Front and Zadnor. Interesting. A Lost Finds cache has been added near the starting point of the Battle of Castrum Lacus Latore. Nice quality of life. The same has been added near the starting point of Dalriada. Nice quality of life. Experience points earned by completing Castrum Lacus Latore has been increased. That's awesome. And same for Dalriada. Yeah, so they're really trying to push people to do Dalriada and Castrum. I don't blame them. Honestly, Zadnor's pretty damn good for leveling up already, but this is even more, so very cool. Good stuff. So PvP, obviously we're going to skim through this, like I said at the start of the video. The feast is gone, okay, in its entirety. That's it, it's gone forever. The rival wings, that's being temporarily removed, so you won't be able to do that next week. They don't know how long temporarily is, but there's a balance adjustments that need to be made in that. There's all sorts of drama around rival wings and the map itself, so it looks like they're going to be addressing that going forward. So that's not going to be there, sadly. However, you do have Crystalline Conflict, which is small-scale PvP, which is a 5v5 where you push a crystal around. There's a huge write-up on this. We already looked at this in massive detail in videos, so I'm not going to read through all of this. It has casual, custom, and ranked matches. Yeah, it's awesome. There's further details about how everything works in there. I'll let you read through that if you're interested. But for the most part, I mean, it's hype, but there's a lot. And then it talks about rankings as well. We also talked about this, how you work through an MMR rating system now. You go bronze 1, 2, 3, silver 3, 1, 2, 1, sorry, the other way around. And we get rising stars, and there's a crystal tier, and then there's the series PvP, which is available to anybody who does any PvP and gets to level 25 series, which is just from doing any PvP casually. You get this reward. So that's the new season series reward, for level 25 PvP series. So there we go. The maximum series level is 30. Interesting. And you can get extra levels after that. But that's the goal. And there's other rewards as well, such as like cosmetic stuff. So we have costume, we have fashion accessories, and we also have those like profile plates, some updates to those. So pretty cool. And the trophy crystals you earn, you can use to exchange for other stuff at the Wolves Den Pier. So shop NPCs and available wares have been adjusted. Crystalline Conflict explanation NPCs of what the Crystalline Conflict is. Casual ranked match. In custom match, you get to choose what map you go onto. Yeah, it does also look like you can't communicate with people, much like in the Feast, which is unfortunate. I don't like this system. I'd prefer to be able to coordinate with people, but you have sorry, going ahead, falling back, moving crystal, push crystal, covering target, and these will automatically be typed into chat for you because we're not allowed to talk to each other because of, I don't know, toxicity or something. I have no idea, but that's how that is. I don't like the system, but it's there. It has been for a while. Quick actions have been quick chat options have been removed. Yeah, of course. Let's see. In accordance with the removal of a feast and implementation of Crystalline Conflict, the following UI elements have been adjusted, including PvP profile and the introductory PvP pop-up window. And Season 1 begins, obviously. Also, we have the Garrow event. The key thing to take from the Garrow event coming back, which is all the hype if you didn't already know, you can get the stuff in the Wolves Den Pier or Mandeville Gold Saucer. Gunbreaker and Reaper gear has been added. Very interesting. But Samurai, Red Mage, Gunbreaker Dancer, Reaper, and Sage achievement titles have been added. So it doesn't look like there's any new gear for Sage, Reaper, Dancer, etc. However, I mean, well, it is for Gunbreaker and Reaper. But it looks like there is achievement titles for my Sage. I suppose it's better than nothing. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, definitely go do Garrow if you've not got all of these sets, because a lot of his glamour looks really good as solo pieces as well. It's some of the better design stuff we've had in the game. I think most people will agree. So new items have been added. This is actually the armor. A much better image of the armor from the Alliance raid. There's a lot of gold, white, and veils going on. A bit of black over here as well on some of these outfits. And the healer one's gorgeous. My favorite, though, is the tank one. They have, like, this invisible veil. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? I know this is, like, not fully zoomed in because the resolution of the image is tiny, but I love this. I want the tank outfit. So, yeah, it looks like I might be tanking the Alliance raid. New recipes have been added. Okay, so this is what we saw before. Hopefully these are not gender locked. Hopefully. Hopefully. But we've got a leather jacket that's open and a leather jacket that's closed. Hopefully I can wear the leather jacket that's open on my female character. Nice skirt. It's a bit like fine. It's not really cut enough, but it's all right. Sort of like a beret on your head. It's all right. It looks like the beret actually works on Viera heads as well, which is pretty good. Recipes obviously will be added at a later date in the full notes. The following item names have been changed from Fortune Egg to Chipped Fortune Egg. The classification of the following items has been changed to rare, which is the Coblin Lava and Kidragora. This is a big one. This is the thing that most people will probably clap at. So gender locking on gear, as we all know, is kind of annoying in most places. Some of the biggest items on this list have been made so that they're equipable by both male and female characters in the game. That includes the entirety of the Quaintrell set, the Boulevardier set, which is obviously the male equivalent, which I've wanted to wear some of the Boulevardier stuff for the longest time on my female character, so that's going to be nice. The Frontier set, and that includes the male Frontier stuff as well, which is really cool. Favnarian Wool Autumn dresses, we got Griffin Skin breast guards, the Urias body armor, that's a nice one. Southern Seas skirt and the trousers. Riviera stuff, Oasis stuff, so that's obviously Gold Saucer, Ishgardian gown, Far Eastern stuff. Oh yeah, the Rathalos helms as well. Rathalos gear in general, both the augmented and normal. So before it was F and M, so female and male. Now you can wear the male stuff or the female stuff. That's really cool. So I might go and get some more Rathalos, fragments to go and get those scales rather. We've got. Yeah, that's really good. That's a good start. Every time there's a major patch, we should see a list like this, and the lists are getting bigger. So that's pretty hype. I think most people will agree that that's going to be cool. It'd be nice to have some shirts on my character, you know? Sometimes you want to mix and match between sets as well. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the Boulevardier's stuff, especially the shirt. I like that. An item exchange has been added to upgrade crafted item level 580 equipment to 590. So if you want to get 590 stuff, you go to Radzat Han, and you need a Hanish certificate of grade 1 import and Crucible Rain. So yeah, it's the same principle as before. Crucible Rain could be received from Rashti in exchange for Allegan Tomestones of Aphorism, so that's used for Aphorism. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. You get that, and 580 equipment, and you go exchange it. Very nice, 590 gear. New items have been added to the inventory of Calamity Salvages. That's cool. We don't know what those are at this point. The animations of the following Disciple of Hand actions has been adjusted. So Observe is now like raising the material above you to observe it. That's cool. You will be able to check the required compatibility of crafted items during synthesis and trial synthesis. Oh, look. Oh, I like this. Oh, this is really interesting. This makes it so... Oh my god, that is so good. So, like, sometimes you're crafting something that's required for, like, a custom delivery client, and you're like, wait, what quality was required of that? And more often than not, I've wrote this down on a piece of paper in real life. That's going to be a thing of the past. This is lovely. Good job. Keep up with these quality of life changes. They're making the game so much better. The animations of the following Disciple of Land actions have been adjusted. So, Scour and Meticulous Woodsman, Meticulous Prospector, Powerful Hookset, and Precision Hookset. So the animations have changed for these, so we'll have to see what those look like in the game. Icon for the Botanist action Collector's Focus has been changed. New items have been added to gathering points, new fish. The requirements for catching fish via spear fishing have been added to the fishing log. That's lovely. The text color for custom deliveries has also been adjusted. Fishers will earn the greatest possible reward when submitting large fish for custom deliveries. Very cool. The following adjustments are made to Glamour Plates. Here we go. So the maximum available Glamour Plates has been increased from 15 to 20, and Glamour Plates can now be used in sanctuaries. Glamour Plates may not be used during duties regardless of location. One thing that's not mentioned here is I thought during a live letter, Yoshi P said that they're doubling the storage, although it's not in the patch notes at this point. So either they're not putting it in right now, and maybe that'll be in like one of the subsequent 6.15 patches or something, which is more likely, or they've forgot to put it here. Who knows? The level cap for desynthesis has been increased from 580 to 590. That's because, of course, we have 590 craftable stuff now. New mounts have been added. This is a new mount from the Endsinger on Extreme. We looked at this before. Beautiful lynx with wings. New chocobo barding. I'm not sure what barding this is, but that's cool. Kind of like chained veils. This is like an anima barding or something. I'm not sure what this is. New minions have been added. We saw this before, looking awesome. That little chihuahua type doggy thing. We've got fashion accessories, of course. There's also a changes to those. You can do change pose emote when you use fashion accessories. For the parasols, that allows you to twirl them on your back so that you lean them onto your back rather than having them just in front of you like some kind of 90-degree angle, which looks uncomfortable. This is basically how people wanted to G-pose with parasols in the first place. It's nice to see they've done that. It says the layout of the fashion accessories window has been adjusted. Additionally, an icon for the change pose emotes has been added, allowing you to cycle through a series of idle stances. Very nice, as you can see here. System changes then. Let's go on through this. The listed order of customizable options during character creation has been adjusted. This adjustment has also been applied to character customization after using a file of Fantasia or when selecting your retainer's appearance. It's a listed order, so I guess, well, who knows what they've changed there? No idea. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the market boards. A new subsection of the miscellany, registrable miscellany, has been added for items that obtain and register something else, such as minions or orchestrion rolls. You'll be able to filter search results to show only unobtained registered items. That's probably the biggest one, isn't it, really? That's amazing. So you've got this button look. That's awesome. The subcommands add to wish list and add to favorites will now display the number of currently registered entries. Should the number of entries exceed the allowed amount, you will become unable to use the subcommand. Cool. So there is a limit to that wish list. I want everything. No, you can't. The number of registered entries versus the total number of available slots will appear in a log window when you add and remove items to and from your wish list or favorites. Similarly, when editing your crafting log favorites, the number of registered entries versus the total number of available slots will appear in a log window. Nice quality of life updates. Visualizations. The following additions and adjustments have been made to retainers. The level ranges for ventures are now ordered from highest level to lowest level. That's nice, actually. New ventures have been added. New items can be obtained. Ooh, that means glamour and stuff. That's a new marketplace. That's a changer, that is. You will now be notified of items placed on the market board become prohibited or obsolete. You may now create retainer comments. Oh, wow. You may compose a customized message of up to 90 characters for each of your retainers. Retainer comments are visible only to you. Oh, I was going to say, if they were visible to everyone, it'd be like, this scariest crap. But no, this is nice, actually. So you can go like, oh, this one holds my gear. This one is like full of my relic weapon replicas. This one is full of Pyros crystals. Dear. The following additions and adjustments have been made to achievements and titles. We have new achievements and titles. Excellent. And certain duties will now count towards the completion of achievements. So obviously with the addition of Endsinger's Aria and Ultima's Bane, that changes what the tankless job and stuff is for, what you can get that from, and also for Agglia as well, for the other ones as well. Very cool. And obviously the new dungeon as well, and Ultima's Bane Unreal. In order to more easily distinguish between completed and unfinished achievements, the background color of unfinished achievements has been adjusted. Oh, I see. I thought it was just like a color change. So, oh yeah, I suppose that is better. That is a lot better. Because currently it's like, have I completed this or have I completed this? Which one have I completed? Well, before it was like the red, like the bronze colored one. Now it's just like, yeah, these things are faded. That's actually like, yeah, that's a lot better. This is lit up because we've completed it. These ones we have not. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Although I wish for the comparison that they had the same achievement progress, because that makes it look weird. Very, very weird. But anyway, yeah. So titles must now be selected by saving changes made in the titles menu. Okay. The adventurer plates have been added. We're not going to go into this too much as we've talked about this. This is the beta version in 6.1. The full release is 6.15. yeah, you get to choose what people see when they inspect you, or if they see anything through the public, friends only, or private thingy. You get to choose when you're most available so people can inspect that. Your favorite content, your favorite class or job or whatever it might be, your free company, a picture of your character, the frame itself can be changed, as you can see. Very cool feature. I'm looking forward to this, but obviously the use case scenarios are limited. So hopefully they add this to PvE stuff in the future. Obviously there's the portrait feature, which is like G-pose. We looked at this in the live letter video in quite big detail. There's some of the finer details of how this works. It's nice to see these menus in English, actually. So all of the customization options there. And there's the profile itself. So you pick where you're available, what you like doing in your playstyle, your favorite title, etc. Very cool. Privacy settings, yeah. Friends only, no one, etc. Very cool. Very, very cool. Dream fitting's been added. This is basically the ability to walk to a bed in an inn room, and instead of going to sleep, you dream of online cash shop gear and see what it looks like on your character. This is a way of trying before you buy, basically. That's what dream fitting is. And you can show it, or pieces of glamour outfits, with whatever you have equipped on your character as well. And also dye previews. Very cool. Very, 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 very cool. I like that. An option to automatically target enemies when executing target-based attacks has been added. Players may choose to prioritize either line of sight or the closest target. So this is when executing a target-based attack with no target specified, it will auto-target according to priority. That's actually pretty good. There are some bosses that are like hard to target, so it will just auto-target something in line of sight. That's a nice feature. I like that. That'll fix some people's issues. We recently had the same issue with a black mage in our static that just keep forgetting to like pivot his camera to click on the boss because his tab button just wouldn't target it. So this is quite good. That'll be helpful for him. The following adjustments have been made to the NPC accompaniment system. As long as you remain in the same area, you will no longer become separated from accompanying NPCs when using the Ethernet or riding mounts. Some NPCs may temporarily disappear in the event of riding mounts or swimming, but they will still be accompanying you. So yeah, you can run ahead now. That's a nice change, honestly, because the amount of times I ran through parts of a certain zone we won't mention and lost the NPC that I was supposed to be guiding and had to redo the whole thing. It was like 7 times. I was terrible at that. The location of conversation points will now appear on the map, so that way you don't have to guess if you missed something. I like that, actually. That's nice. Doesn't cost anything, that's nice. The display of gear set names has been adjusted to reflect job and item level individually. Very cool. And the following additions and adjustments have been made to the currency window. So bicolor gemstones and trophy crystals have been added, finally. So trophy crystals are the big deal because obviously, you know, they're the new PvP Crystalline Conflict stuff. And also, well, they're through series PvP, sorry, the trophy crystals. But you'll mostly get them through new PvP stuff. And bicolor gemstones, usually you have to go on the shared fate window to see that. That's nice that we don't have to do that. The currency settings function has been added, allowing you to customize which currency is displayed on the HUD. Oh, so I could turn off Gil. That's good. I like that. I could rearrange things as well in my priority. I like that a lot. That's really nice. Searching for items in a dying interface. Interesting. Oh, and a link option. Does that allow you to link things that are died to people? That's really cool. When traveling to a free destination or using Aetheryte tickets to teleport, the amount of gil expended will no longer appear in a log window, apparently. System notifications, including confirmation of market sales, will no longer display during quest or duty-related cutscenes. You're on a really touching cutscene where someone's like dying with a dying breath, and you're like, no, why you? Why did you have to die? And it's like, your market for sale for the Quaintrell's ruffled skirt has sold. It's like, thanks for ruining the mood. But that won't happen anymore. That's good. The renewal period for mentor certification has ended. So, of course, if you've not renewed your mentorship that you had before, you're going to have to fulfill the updated requirements and speak to one of the smiths. Simple. Explorer mode's been updated, and we now have lots of new duties, including Dust Vigil, Airy. Oh, wow, lots of Heavensward stuff. Very cool. So basically, that's the Heavensward update. And of course, the new dungeon, obviously. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm excited to see more duty Explorer mode. I do like that for filming in, actually. The duties that can be recorded have changed. Now it's Mother Crystal, Final Day, and Asphodelos, the Fourth Circle Savage. Duty recorder's not that great, honestly. It's a missed opportunity. The following adjustments have been made to Duty Finder. So you can register via Duty Support has been added, register via Trust. Trust interface now has a button linking to the Duty Finder has been added. A button linking to Duty Support has been added. And icons allowing you to change or check the availability of NPC avatar glamours has been added. Glamours are unlocked for NPC avatars who have attained level 80. You may change them via the glamour icons or subs command from the party selection window. Okay. Big ones then, a check mark will appear on the icon of items that have already been obtained. So if you go through the market board and you're like, oh, did I actually ever get the Dalmor whistle? Well, now it'll have a tick, yes or no. Very nice. This is like, we're going to forget this was ever not here. That's how good this is. It's so good. In the event a player spends 30 consecutive days outside of their homeworld by means of the homeworld visit system, they'll be automatically returned to their homeworld on the next login. Depending on the timing of their most recent logout, players may be returned to their homeworld after spending more than 30 days outside of their homeworld. Interesting. Not sure why you would do that, but there we go. Additions have been made to the system configuration on PS4 and PS5. The draw quality has LOD, load detail models on distant objects as an option. And the default settings for LOD will be on for PlayStation 4 and off for PS5. This is to reduce the amount of lag probably on PS4 and to add to it on PS5. No, PS5 handles really well, actually. So they're still working through the little kinks between the two. You know, this game's on how many different platforms? It's crazy. The wireless controller settings option under the sound in the system configuration menu has been renamed to DualSense DualShock 4 settings. So just a change. Following options have been added to the character configuration menu target tab. Auto target settings enable auto target full or auto target according to priority, as we talked about. Character configuration menu, target tab, enable auto target when no target is specified. That's a good one to have. What else we got? Wireless controllers become available with certain operating systems, specifically Mac. So Mojave, Catalina, and Big Sur. And that allows you to use DualSense and Xbox Series X and S controllers. And then there's the following text commands. Let's go through that. They're just like the shortcuts. Additions have been made to the auto dictionary, autocomplete dictionary. New trophies have been added to PS5. New music, sound effects, and voices, obviously. The immersed spatial audio is now compatible with multi-channel sound cards. Very cool. And upon enabling immersed spatial audio, the equalizer mode will be automatically set to standard. And finally, accounts with entry subscriptions can now create up to 8 characters per world. The character limit per physical data center has not been changed, and the physical data centers are divided between the Japanese, North American, European, and Oceanic regions. This last point is really big, and it's interesting that they sneak this at the bottom. So currently there are 2 forms of subscription to this game. There's entry, and then there's standard. Standard usually allows you to have up to 8 characters per world. There are restrictions on how many total, right, in the entire game, but 8 per world. On entry, you only can create 1 per world. But this is a big change. This means a lot of people will probably drop their subscription down to just the 1, just to entry level, because one of the main reasons to pay for standard in the first place was to have the availability of creating more characters on that homeworld. It's one of the only reasons that I've done it as well. Simply because I wanted more than 1 character on my own server. So, yeah, that's quite an interesting... It's a good change. It's a really good change. But, yeah, quite surprising nonetheless. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for the 6.1 preliminary notes. As you can see, there's quite a lot of stuff. And I know this video is long, but I'm not going to not read through this stuff. So, yeah, hopefully people enjoyed listening to this. I know some people will be like, wow, that's a long video. I know, right? You can read through this yourself, but there are some people who don't want to do that and will want me to create a video for this. And that's exactly the people who I'm creating this video for. Anyway, much love. Let me know what you think about 6.1, what you're most excited for. Are you a little bit bummed out that, you know, some of the content's being like the next few weeks afterwards? Or do you prefer your content to be spread out? Because the 6.1 series, basically, as we should call it, is much bigger than just what happens next week. It's the following weeks after that, especially with Ultimate and, you know, Hildebrand and custom deliveries and stuff. Very exciting. And it also means Arcus Adora is not going to be there on day one, which also means that we will be able to focus on like the MSQ without worrying about, you know, doing that stuff. So I guess it means that it's spread out more, but who knows? Let me know your opinions. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.